जो था हमारा डेडलाइन आई थिंक वो अच्छे से अचीव हो गया. Our main aim was to basically do foundational pass. MVP में we wanted to support different. Let me just do this and increase my volume. Yeah, much better. So this is basically that phone what I have built, and everything is written from scratch. जो भी firmware and everything. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Crop it from the left side, maybe 100 pixel, 200, 250, 70 works. Yes. And cool. So पहले कोड दिखा देता हूँ थोड़ा मैं. I will move it out of the screen. तो थोड़ा तो जो हमने लास्ट स्ट्रीम में बात की थी, I've kept the similar structure. See, our main goal was that everything should be running via this phone MVP, but this MVP here should be the minimal code. Think of it as like a control system. So from here you are just invoking the services, you're enabling the features, that's it. Rest of the, and why I preferred this way, because that helps you. If you keep this simple task as your North Star, everything starts becoming modularized. So you'll see when I was writing modem related code, I initially wrote it here. I even documented all the 80 commands separately. Why? Because I wanted to keep this as a single source of truth. Whenever you're writing a software like this, you have to think from many different angles. Like for example, if you, let's say if I leave this and after 6 months I want to pick it up, what do I do? Who do I talk to? There is no, I can write a documentation, but you should better to write comments in the code than a big lengthy documentation. Okay. So why that is important is because your code, computers don't understand code, right? So code is for us humans to read and program it. They only know machine language. The whole point of language itself, C, Java, JavaScript, whatever language you are coding in, the whole point of programming language was for humans to read it and understand. It was never meant for machines. Even today, like no machine understands C code, or all it knows is think of it as all it knows is machine code, right? 1010, that's it. So whenever you're writing that, I could have added this in a modem header file, but this header file is, again, it's a very generic thing that has been segmented out, right? Now here I have all the 80 commands for basically writing a message, sending a message, reading a message from SAM, and calling, all of those things. Then registration, network check, all of those things are part of this here. And but I did document a lot of things. I think will be here. So architecture diagram, right? Somewhere here I have I think it was in learning. Here there was a touch control path. I did use AI to restructure my code a little bit, not gonna lie, but the overall command I kept to myself to write things, take the call that this is how I want to structure everything. then this is a modem code where this is specific to my hardware. You can use this, restructure it for your use case, but yeah, this works. And you can have things like this whenever you're writing. And then I expose all of these functionalities as a modem service. So if you'll see here, this send command, it's a generic command sender. The whole formulation of what command links with what, that is here. You'll see all of these events I've defined. Like there can be multiple events. Based on those events, you can trigger separate commands. And so all of the logic is part of it. Now, go here, and if you'll go to phone core, you will also find things like this, which I was talking about, the core functionalities of the phone. And while developing all this, what I realized, if you know how to write header files, rest of the code becomes easier. And I really like that about C, because it makes you think about the infrastructure, interfaces, contract, and the data types before letting you to write code. You can use C itself to write the code, but if you'll see my structure, I've always defined that header files. So think of header files like a API contract that you are exposing. Similarly, the phone state file, it has a copy text, cancel, find, send, number match. The number match is another feature that I added. It was difficult for me to type the names. I will reveal that whole thing in the end. What are the features it supports? This stream is not gonna be long, and I added a file system to store data, and I thought of making things persistent. Whenever I was restarting, the whole call log was gone, who had called me, whatever missed call, all of those things. And phone store is the one that is exposing those functionality. So here you will see I have settings, codec, all of those things. Render today is simple. It has nothing but these things like swapping color. So another problem that I had faced was, whenever I was writing some color, it was showing some other color. So something like cyan and anything like in the initial phase. Also in the previous stream you must have seen, I made it green or red, and it looked like purple. So I had ignored that problem at that time, but it was mainly because of the swapping color. The bits are in different order, so that is there. Touch call is simply for touch. Gestures, multiple layout, theme. It supports, I wrote a small thing for theme. It supports 3 different types of theme: light, dark, and high contrast. I personally like high contrast. And this is how you develop also when you're writing a engine from scratch. Think of the things which you can keep like a plug and play things, more like a configuration based, and make it load those things on the runtime rather than putting it on the code, because I didn't know what would look like, which UI would look better. So I'll show it now only. So for example, if you see the phone here, so this is the other thing. Supports another one. This is the light one. I can go back and I can show you the app. This is how the app looks. Go to so if I go to high contrast, this is what I prefer. And if I go back, you can see the phone. This is how this people different source of calls, people source the contact. I see small game. The one. So the problem was, I didn't have phone. I was blocked to make any online payment because I was not able to get OTP, and I did not want to buy or get my phone fixed. So finally I'm able to make payment. So today I ordered another bunch of stuff from Amazon. So yeah, so I was talking to you guys about these things: UI cell, screens, and here you'll see I also added, by the way, apps. And apps is basically the small things which you're saying, those icons and everything, right? All of those are giving you app experiences. Okay, so this was I'll put it online if any. I'll put it on GitHub if anyone wants to explore, get inspiration from this. And if you're stuck anywhere, I'll be happy to help. Now I will show it to you guys, the basic phone. How does it look like? The experience of phone and exposing the functionalities that it currently supports. Let me put that here, maybe. Give me a second. Let me just adjust my screen. I put that here. This goes here. That also works, right? I can just zoom it in. तो छोटा कर दूंगा तो भी दिखेगा. Yeah, this is fine. थोड़ा black screen चलेगा. I don't want to delete this. ठीक है. So the first problem that we had was calling someone. If this is not on immediately, so go to call. You see a dial pad. Everything is hard coded, by the way. I mean, not hard coded. Like when we are using a laptop or editor, we always take a lot of things for granted. But even as basic as creating this dial pad, you'll have to think about everything. How will you draw a line? Because there is no library, there is no operating system. All you have is like pixels. So you will have to write a lot of things so that it understands what does it mean, like one, how does it draw one, how does it draw A, B, C, D. So all of those letters and byte, those are like bitmaps. It doesn't support any font or anything. So I have not manually, I took the code from somewhere, but you can think of, when I say draw one in a box, I have to tell it I have to write a function. What does it mean to draw a square or a rectangle? And in order to support the top bar so that it doesn't refresh everything, I had to create some kind of like a layout engine, so that tomorrow if I have to build games, I can use that layout engine and build games on top of it. Anyway, knowledge, let's just see it in working. It does work, but I think the current problem is the power socket that I have. Basically ये चलते रहता है थोड़ा, तो मेरे को अच्छे से मैकेनिकली वायर करना पड़ेगा. So this is the number, and I'm going to just press call, and you see, so I have added the things where I got the call, you see. So it has the core functionality, and the timer starts. This is what I was playing around with, like adding the core functionalities, like so that it feels real. Mute button, keys button, volume up and down. I can increase the volume. Now I'm gonna take the call, and let me just do this. I'll put this here. you guys able to hear? Let me just talk something on the mic. हेलो YouTube आवाज आ रही है? I'm not sure how much of that was captured. So now I cut the call. You see, it was cut from there, and I'm not showing the headphone part because it looks really bad. It's still functional. This is how I talk. I have kept it very rudimentary because the whole point of even creating this phone was to think out of the box. So I'm gonna think on redesigning how we interact with the phone. Maybe not like this, some other way. If anyone has any idea, feel free to comment. So that was the call functionality, and then I can go on a recent call and I can even dial that number. You will see I got the call. I can cut it. Now what does it mean? How does it feel like when I receive the call? So I'm dialing the number. You see, I just got a call. So I can receive the call, I can cut the call. I'll just cut the call.
कृपया कुछ समय पश्चात प्रयास करें. The number you have dialed is currently busy.
Okay, so that's the basic core functionality of call. Also added like SMS, so I can even compose SMS. I can select one of the contacts and I have to calibrate this because this is I added this calibration intentionally because I have to play around a little bit to make sure all the touch points are working properly. So we're done with call. SMS I have shown you. People is the one that has all the contacts and the numbers. I can open one of the contact and I get 4 features. I can call them, I can message them, I can delete the number, I can just go back. I'll go back. And then you have recent. This is the one which I was having. I was not able to add properly the. Okay, it is working, but I was little skeptical on the scroll feature because this is not a very high quality screen, touch screen. So I've added up and down button. You can see. By the way, you see, suddenly it went red. So that was it has network in 4G. You can read it. So these are the 4 things. You can go back, and this was call, this SMS, this people, this is the recent call. This is the setting for calibration and choosing the theme. You click and you can read it here. This is the LICHI Phone and firmware version. SIM is okay, net is okay, and 4G is okay. And then you have a game. So yeah, so that's it. The core functionality of the phone is there, and I have a working phone finally. So whoever was waiting for to call me, go ahead. And yeah, that is it. I hope anyone who is planning to build a phone, this gives you some kind of inspiration, because I come from very different field. I come from software background, but the hardware part was little overwhelming for me, but I persisted and apparently I was able to figure it out. So you guys can do the same. You don't have to worry like होगा नहीं होगा, चलेगा कि नहीं. That don't have to worry about those things. And yep, so finally a working phone. And if anyone wants to see the code or is interested in understanding how I learned, I basically streamed everything online, so whenever you yeah, someone told it's not audible. So a lot of times what has happened, like even in the call, like one first or second stream, you will see I didn't know about unions. And it's okay if you don't know stuff, that's fine. And for example, basic things like, for example, opening this source code, I used to be like, I took a lot of time, invested a lot of time in doing this. For example, driver class UART.h. If you remember, let me close this. Yeah, if you remember in the first few streams, we literally went through this code and tried to understand what is happening, what are the different types, and then okay, so it needs something like this UART int intr configuration, UART config t. We used to copy these commands, data types, and write it there. So yeah, so this is the process, and once you get into the zone, you will figure it out, and not a big deal. You if you are persistent and you know how to read code, if you invest time, it's all possible. And just to give you guys a final extra thing, git stash apply, I'll show you IDF.py build slash editor. Let me just zoom this in, you can see too. Here, let me put this on the full screen. To the screen, new to this OBS. Yeah, so phone functionalities are working, but my next vision is to try to access internet. ESP32 has a Wi-Fi module and Bluetooth module. I can use the internet via that, but I don't want to make a phone which is dependent on home Wi-Fi, because and I will do a lot of things on the hardware. Look guys, once the core functionalities and everything I have jotted down and I have figured it out, I will totally redesign everything. Maybe I will get into designing my own PCB, but that's a far-fetched thing, so that I can design everything in a very compact space. A lot of things maybe here is not required. I can use a different ESP32 or maybe some other chip, because currently I'm not using a lot. I am just using it to make a UART command, which I can even do from phone, my laptop. That's not justified. And if you look at the size of the board, it is pretty large, and that's not how big phones are generally. So I would try to make a compact but powerful phone which works based on my demands, and so that's the future goal. And so what I was telling you is about was internet accessibility. So was trying something like this. I will just show you how the future goal that I am going towards is. So this is basically generating the bin file and flashing it. So it flashed it, and in the screen, I don't know if you are able to see, let me just zoom this part. You'll see it added another thing called news. I am trying to access internet via this. So currently there is some issue going on with my protocol understanding, because if you think accessing internet, so there is no browser, there is no curl, there is no wget, so there is nothing. All I have is like 80 commands, and 80 commands does support HTTP. You can send commands through which it will send you those byte frames, and you can use those byte frames to maybe combine that and show it in whatever way you want. So I'm working on that part, but currently there's some bug improperly. So if I click on news, you see it has two features, because I am interested on Google AI News and Google Research. So I'm trying to use RSS feeded news, and if I refresh, it says fetching Google AI, but my modem commands are failing with 706 error. I'll have to go through A7672S documentation. What does it mean by that command, that specific error code, and we'll figure it out. So yeah, so that's the current stage. I have explained everything. I hope whoever watches this in the future enjoys it and maybe gets inspiration to build something like this on your own. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good one.